kind of hard to believe it's been since 2019 that there's been an NCAA game in this building. A lot of different factors have been in there, but what does it mean on a regional final Saturday in LeBon? It seems like that's always a little bit more amped of an atmosphere, even though you've had some pretty good atmospheres.
Well, it's a credit to the players, for putting in the work over a long period of time and earning the opportunity to play a home game in LeBon. And, as we've seen over the course since LeBon's been built, it's a special place. The fans are very supportive. They encourage our team, and they show up. And so it's a credit to the players, because it's a hard task to get in this position. There's only 4 teams that get an opportunity to do it, and we happen to be one of them. And if everybody around the country at the beginning of the season would say, hey, can we host a quarterfinal game, whether you're on the men's or women's side, basketball, can you host a game in your building? I think everybody would take that, and we certainly are looking forward to our opportunity.
Mark?
You've got 2 Patty Cavs finalists, first time in program history that has happened. Just can you speak to that accomplishment, and just having, obviously it's a pretty rarefied air, but what are your thoughts?
Well, it's exciting, certainly for the 2 young ladies that are part of that short list. And again, I defer to, both have had great seasons. Both have been consistent in their play. Both of them have helped us win a bunch of games and put us in the position we're in right now. And I'm excited for both of them. They've earned it. They've showcased that they can play at a real high level in very meaningful games. And, similar to our team, they've earned the right to be in that position, and they've earned the right for one of them to possibly win it.
Mark?
And then from a team standpoint, offensively, some of the numbers that, the team's been putting up are, also historic as well in terms of average goals and assists and things of that sort. Obviously, there's a lot of talent here. Chemistry goes into that. I guess I'm wondering if you can kind of speak to, beyond those maybe obvious things, what kind of has gone into what we've seen from this group, just in terms of its firepower.
Is that Miami of Ohio?
Yes, the Public Ivy.
I love it. Did you go there?
Yes.
Awesome. I've got a guy in my life group that bleeds and dies Miami of Ohio. He went there too, and so last weekend I'm in my community group with him, and guess what he shows up on? Almost identical to what you got there. And he just rants and raves about Miami of Ohio. And so that's good. So you got somebody in your corner that keeps feeding me with Miami of Ohio. So to answer your question, it's work in the rearview mirror. And obviously the team, early on got off to a real good start in the first months of the season. We had some successful games where we scored some goals, and it all feeds into, my ability as an individual player to get off to a good start and then build my confidence up. And for a lot of these players, especially for our young players, they got to that space fairly quickly, and then we got tested, right before Christmas break with probably the stiffest part of our schedule. They responded, in a good way. Even though we lost some of those games, that's part of the process, and understanding that what I need to do to continue to push myself to become better. And individually, we've been able to do that with a lot of different players, and if they're willing to do that, then collectively as a whole, you become better. And so one thing I do know, all those numbers don't matter Saturday. We got to come out and play well. And so the hard time this part of the season for me, and the message I talk to about my players is, staying in the present, staying in the moment. There's a lot of outside noise, and it all starts as we start handing out awards within our league, and then the national awards start coming out, and then these things start to happen. And it's like, at the end of the year, whenever that happens, then you can reflect on it, look back on it, and figure out if I had a good year or if I didn't have a good year, what did I do well, what do I need to do better. But, you can't get ahead of yourself, and the minute you start thinking you're pretty good, then you get nipped in the heels, and then you're figuring out why we lost a game.
Todd?
take you back to last weekend. Can you go into your decision to give Ava the start for the first game and then continuing in the second game, and how you got to that point of saying, look, this is the time and this is our choice?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, you come to a crossroad. Minnesota had to do it, Duluth had to do it, St. Cloud had to do it, and then we had to do it. And so, you look at each one's body of work. They each had played 18 games. Each had done well. Their statistics were fairly close. What separates one from the other, it comes down to I got to pick A or B. And, we talked about it long and hard for a couple weeks, knowing that, if we were successful in our next game, at some point we're going to get there, and what are we going to do? And so collectively as a coaching staff, we decided to go with Ava, and, the first 8 or 10 minutes, it's like, okay, was that the right choice? But you can't second guess yourself in this business. Obviously, at the end of the day, if you win the game and that player does well, whether it's a goalie or somebody else you put out there, you look like you made the right choice. Conversely, if it doesn't go well, then, people start second guessing you. But, that's the business we're in as coaches, and I'm the head coach. And so we decided to do that. Then we move forward.
Follow up on it real quick. How did you see her pull that back from that first 5, 6, 7 minutes on Friday, where she had to just kind of, okay, cut it off, and here I'm back in where I need to be?
Yeah, I talk too. I mean, every situation, especially for the young players, is an opportunity to gain experience. So how's she going to do? You don't know until you're put in that position. And so all of a sudden you get a couple crazy bounces. I thought with the challenge of the first goal and it not being allowed might help her settle down. And, but again, they're a proud team and they keep coming. And so the nice part of the game, that particular one, is it slowed down for her. And so we get, halfway through the first period, it starts to slow down. The second period was slow. I think she had 3 shots. In the third period, she had 4. And so it settled down. She got more comfortable. And then when we really needed her, the first 4 or 5 minutes of the overtime where she made some saves to extend the game, that showed me that she got comfortable.
We'll go Brian, Carly, and then Zach.
Hi. What can you tell us about St. Lawrence and Penn State and maybe the challenges those two teams pose when they play each other?
Yeah, each one, obviously is here for a reason. St. Lawrence has had a very good season. Obviously, Penn State's had another, outstanding year and got an opportunity to play. And so the hard part for us is to answer those questions. I can answer them, but it's more tuned to Friday morning or Thursday night when we figure out who we're actually playing. So tough for us as coaches because you're looking at 2 different teams and you're trying to make analogies, but it'll come down. But I know, both teams, I know Jeff and Wellesley, I mean, they do a great job. They've had good seasons, especially second halves to their seasons. And so at this time of the year, it's more about what we do in regards to what we can control. And so we're in a position to obviously watch a game and then figure out Friday night or Friday afternoon, who our opponent is and what we need to do in that particular game Saturday afternoon. So sideways around your question, but yeah, I mean, at this time of the year, you got 11 teams left, and, don't overlook anybody.
Carly.
Mark, so many amazing moments and memories for you during this time of year. I'm just wondering what your emotions are like as you head into another journey in the NCAA tournament.
I got a bunch of different emotions going on. A couple days ago when they got news John Harrington was retiring, I had a set of emotions in regards to that and the 9 years he spent up there and the competition, as we're both competitors every time we played against each other. And so, we're going to miss him. He was great for our league, did a great job there. And so, and then I had an experience last night that I hadn't had before. And so, set of emotions with that. But for me as a coach and for the team and for the players, it's just excitement, because I can put, the number 11 up on the board and look at it and go, what's that mean? There's only 11 teams left that have a chance to hoist the national championship. And after tomorrow night, we'll be down to 8. And so that creates excitement as a coach, and certainly it creates excitement for the players. So it's an exciting time of the year. I mean, you turn on your TV and you see what's going on in basketball and the excitement all going on in there. And so in our space, our time's now, because a week from Sunday, then it's all over. So you get this short window of some pressure games and some games that if you're successful and you put a little run together, you have an opportunity to be part of that championship team that we're going to see next Sunday.
Zach.
Mark, I think I asked you this a couple weeks ago, but how close is this team to playing their best hockey, or are they playing their best hockey of the year right now?
I think we're playing pretty good, but again, as a coach, you're always looking for something, what's next, and each game presents that challenge. And so going into a game against Minnesota, that presents a challenge playing in their home rink. And then if you're successful in that game, which we were, with a quick turnaround and playing 2:00 afternoon against the number one team in the country, that presents another challenge. So you prepare the team in that space, and then this area and this space is totally different because it's a different tournament, and so it's just shifting the mindset and getting the players, as I say, to keep that outside noise outside. Let the distractions stay away from what we're trying to do, and if you can get in that space under the pressure of the games and the magnitude of the games, then you have a chance to play your best hockey individually. And then if you get as many people as you can to do the same things, then collectively as a team, you're gonna play at a high level, and that's what we try to do. Does it always work? Unfortunately, it doesn't. And then we as coaches have to sit, after whatever that happens, and try to figure it out.
Todd.
You mentioned something about last night, something happening that hadn't happened before. What was that?
Oh, that was just a personal thing with my wife and I. We had put a horse down last night, and so it was first time I experienced it, and yeah, it's just, but again, sometimes life is hard and you have to deal with things, but yeah.